could very well be that there was a natural area on the earth that the Temple Mount was deliberately built around.
Hidden beneath one of the most sacred and controversial sites in the entire world, the Dome of the Rock, something has been uncovered that could change everything we thought we knew about biblical history. It's a discovery so shocking, so mysterious, and so deeply connected to ancient prophecy that even experts are stunned into silence. What lies beneath this ancient platform has been kept from public eyes for generations. But now, new findings are surfacing, and they point to something far more profound than anyone could have expected. Could it be the key to a long-lost secret? A sign of prophecy unfolding? Or a relic so sacred, its very presence could spark global attention? Stay with us, because what you're about to see may shake your understanding of history, religion, and the future. But before we go any further, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss what's coming next. You won't believe what was discovered beneath the stone. The Dome of the Rock is an Islamic shrine located in the old city of Jerusalem. It sits on what is known as the Temple Mount, a raised platform that holds great religious significance. This same area is home to Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Golden Gate, and other historical sites. But what makes the Temple Mount so special? This area is believed to be Mount Moriah, the very mountain mentioned in the Bible where Abraham was tested by God. Genesis chapter 22 verse 2 says, "Then God said, 'Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you.'" For Jews, this is the same place where Solomon built the first temple, the very temple that housed the Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest that held the Ten Commandments. For Christians, it is the site where Jesus visited and taught at the temple. And for Muslims, it's the place from which the Prophet Muhammad is believed to have ascended to heaven during a night journey. So we see, this one spot is shared by the three Abrahamic religions and is deeply sacred to all of them. Long before the Dome of the Rock was built, this hill had a rich and ancient past. It was the original heart of Jerusalem, the city King David conquered from the Jebusites and turned into the capital of Israel. According to 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 7, "Nevertheless, David captured the fortress of Zion, which is the city of David." Later, David decided to build a holy place for the Ark of the Covenant. But God told him that it would be his son Solomon, not him, who would build the temple. Still, David took the first steps by purchasing a piece of land on Mount Moriah, the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. We read this in 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 24 to 25. But the king replied to Araunah, "No, I insist on paying you for it. I will not sacrifice to the Lord my God burnt offerings that cost me nothing." So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen and built an altar to the Lord there. This very site, according to many scholars, is the same area where the first temple was built by Solomon. Solomon's temple stood as the spiritual center of Jewish life. It was eventually destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BC. A second temple was rebuilt after the exile, during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, and later expanded by King Herod. This second temple is the one we read about in the New Testament, the same one where Jesus preached and overturned the money changers' tables. Sadly, in 70 AD, the Romans destroyed this temple during a Jewish rebellion. Since then, no Jewish temple has been rebuilt on that site, although the Western Wall, a part of the old temple complex, still remains and is considered sacred. Many years later, in the 7th century, Jerusalem was conquered by Muslims. At this point, Islam was a growing religion, and Muslims began to honor this site too. They believed that it was also connected to Abraham and that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven from this location. This belief is based on Surah chapter 17 in the Quran, which mentions a night journey to the farthest mosque, Al-Aqsa. However, it's important to note that Jerusalem is not mentioned by name in the Quran, and at that time, there was no mosque on the site yet. The Dome of the Rock was built in 691 AD by the Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik. Later, the Al-Aqsa Mosque was also constructed and rebuilt several times due to earthquakes and damage over the centuries. The outside of the Dome of the Rock is breathtaking. It shines with golden beauty and stands out on the Jerusalem skyline. The original dome was made of wood and copper, but it was later replaced with gold-plated aluminum. In the 1990s, a new dome coated with real gold was installed, weighing about 80 kilograms of gold and costing over $15 million. But the real mystery is not what's on the dome, it's what's underneath. Inside the Dome of the Rock lies a large natural stone. In Arabic, it is called the Sakra, and in Hebrew, it is known as the foundation stone. This rock is believed by many to be the exact spot where Abraham prepared to sacrifice Isaac. Some Jewish traditions also say this is where God began the creation of the world, and where the Holy of Holies once stood in the temple. This stone is also connected to the Ark of the Covenant. In the Holy of Holies, the Ark was kept in the most sacred part of the temple, only accessible by the high priest once a year on Yom Kippur. Interestingly, there is a rectangular depression carved into the rock directly beneath the center of the dome. This flat-cut area has the exact dimensions that could have fit the Ark of the Covenant. According to Exodus chapter 25, verse 10, "Have them make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high." This cutout in the stone is roughly the same size, leading many archaeologists and biblical scholars to believe this may have been the very spot where the ark once rested. Over the centuries, this sacred rock has gone through many changes. During the time of the Crusaders, the Dome of the Rock was turned into a Christian church called the Templum Domini, the Temple of the Lord. The Crusaders cut and removed pieces of the rock, selling them as holy relics. Parts of the rock were chipped away and damaged. Some areas were even covered with marble and flagstones. In later centuries, these coverings were removed, and archaeologists began to examine the site more carefully. Old photographs taken in the early 1900s show the depression in the rock more clearly. It fits the biblical dimensions of the ark and sits exactly where the Holy of Holies would have been located. All of this evidence, the geography, the historical records, the structure of the rock, and the carved depression, points to something incredible. The Dome of the Rock may be built over the exact site of Solomon's temple. This means the most sacred Jewish building, the place where God's presence once dwelled, could still be remembered through this ancient rock. This also helps explain why the Temple Mount remains such a highly contested and sensitive location. For Jews, it's the holiest place on earth. For Muslims, it's their third holiest. And for Christians, it's deeply connected to the life and ministry of Jesus. This discovery beneath the Dome of the Rock gives us a powerful reminder that the stories in the Bible are not just spiritual lessons. They're rooted in real places, real people, and real history. We may never fully uncover every secret hidden beneath the Temple Mount, but what has already been found is enough to confirm that the Bible's history is alive and real. As Psalm chapter 132, verse 13 to 14 says, "For the Lord has chosen Zion, he has desired it for his dwelling, saying, 'This is my resting place forever and ever. Here I will sit enthroned, for I have desired it.'" Thank you for watching. If this video gave you something to think about, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more biblical discoveries like this one. We're just getting started.